Do you hate ads? I hate ads. You know what I love? Patreon.com/inkdependence, where patrons get access to a patron-only Discord, ad-free videos, and the joy of knowing they help support this channel. Hello folks, welcome to Inkdependence. I'm Mike, and today I have a second takes video for you. I'm going to cover some stuff from April and some stuff from May. These are little videos where I go through and talk about some of the stuff I've been using and what I've liked, what I haven't liked, and maybe stuff that won't make it into a full video by itself, but kind of is interesting in progress kind of usage things. So let's chat about some stuff. Okay, first I'm going to start off with a couple of things that I'm not wholly satisfied with. Even though they're pretty good products, they're just kind of not, like, they have a couple of things I want to talk about. So we'll start off with this one. This is the creative block from Endless. I have these in a couple of forms. I have a big one, like, I don't know, A4 type size. And I have this little one, which is, I actually don't know what size. It doesn't say. Does it say on the other side? No, it doesn't. Anyway, it's this kind of like smaller size here. It's 80 grams per square meter, ink-loving regalia paper, which is pretty, it's an interesting paper. I like that it's this little block. I like to put it in front of my keyboard. That works pretty well for me. I think that's a neat thing with it. I like the dot grid just fine. Come here. The problem I have with it is that while I like that it's a tear-off notepad, the fact that the only thing that holds the notepad to the backing board, which is an important thing, is just like the little bit of glue at the top. And that's fine for holding these pages together. It does a pretty good job of that. In fact, maybe too good. Although I don't remember tearing this page off, but I must have, because I can see the little bits here. So I must have torn that off, but it always invariably comes loose from the back, and I haven't found a good way to reattach it. So what I've been doing is just taking here it is. I've just been taking a rubber band and kind of going across like this, one of those jumbo rubber bands. And that works okay, but like, that's not ideal. And I wish there was some better connection between the actual pad of paper and the backing board, because the backing board is like, when it's all together, this is actually very nice. Maybe they need to do what Midori did and give us a glue bind on the side here as well. There are a lot of Midori notepads. I guess for them, it would be kind of like this side and the top. And then you have sort of like 2 points of anchoring, and maybe that would help secure it to that backing board better. I'm not really sure, but this up here just ain't cutting it, which is too bad, because I actually like using the paper. It is ink friendly. I've written on the other side of this with all fountain pens. There's a whole bunch of them, and it does pretty well with things like shimmer and some sheen and things like that. I like the paper just fine, but it won't stay on that backing board, and that's a little irritating to me. The other one is this. This is the weekly pad from WMS Co Inc.com. I got this from Gentleman Joe, the gentleman stationer, and this is pretty good, but it just doesn't quite fit my needs. So usually I use a Write Notepads weekly layout calendar situation, like a horizontal weekly layout calendar, and it's actually a lot bigger than this. It's like, I don't know, A5 size or 8.5 by 11, or it's some larger size, but I have run out of pages in that, and Write Notepads didn't come to the last pin show I was at, so I didn't get another one, and I want to get another one, because while this is a fine layout, right? You have the days of the week, you have the Saturday and Sunday kind of combined here, and this is just stuff I've been sort of marking off. I like to mark stuff off as like, yep, kind of a to-do list, and I sort of pass it from one day to the next. So you can see like it's kind of bare down here, because I'm recording this on a Wednesday, which is record May 2nd takes. I haven't done the rest of it. Well, I know I did some of that, so we'll mark that off, because why not? Whoops, there we go. There we go. I've done a bunch of that. So that works pretty okay, but it doesn't actually give me a whole lot of room for things. And I think it's just kind of too small. Maybe I just have too much stuff going on. One of the things I like to do with the bigger format is I have a section down at the bottom that is just kind of static. And it's like, take your pills, do this, take out the trash, clean the cat box. It gives me like a little to-do list of things I need to do like every day, so that I can, check it off. I can see like how I'm doing progress-wise. And this just kind of doesn't have enough room. So perfectly good product. I think the paper is fine. It has a little bit of bleed through, but actually the places this bled through, this ink is intense and it's in a very wet nib. And so that's fine. You can see everything except for that ink has been totally fine here. And it's great for fountain pens. So I like this, but I kind of have too much to do for this to be super practical for me. So while I'll keep using it because I don't have another thing at the moment, it's not my favorite, and it wouldn't work for me during like the busy school year. All right, and one last thing on the I don't really like it that much list is this. This is the Sharpie S-Gel, and I know this pen gets a lot of love, but I just don't like it very much. I think I think this is too skinny. Like, it's kind of fat and skinny in the wrong places. Like, this fat thing needs to be like on both sides. Maybe it's just like a little bit thicker here than it is in the middle. And so it's kind of just like always in the wrong place for me. But the worst problem, I think, is that just the ink isn't very good. I had this in one of my tactile turn pens for a while. And every time I picked it up, like, it would write a few words and just like start skipping on me like mad, and just like wouldn't give me ink. And so I don't think this is that cartridge. I think I just chucked that one because it was too annoying. But I don't think that Sharpie's really got it dialed in for the S-Gel yet, or else maybe they've made improvements since I bought these. I don't know, but I don't love it. So like, I can't recommend the S-Gel. There's so many better gel pens out there that this one's just kind of not my jam. All right. And a few things that I really do like. One is, this is the Tactile Turn Sprout. This is their current seasonal for like springish. I guess it's kind of the spring season. So you've got another month or so to get your order in on these from Tactile Turn, but it is super pretty. I've got a whole video on this thing if you want to go and see it when I first unboxed it and all that. I get this like fun leaf motif, great greens and that sort of thing going on there. I really like the little thumb stud being white. I think that's very pretty. I like that a lot. It says Tactile Turn underneath. I dig that. I really like Tactile Turn pens. These always come in the standard size anyway, with a Pilot G2 refill. And I don't love the Pilot G2 refill. It's totally fine. Perfectly good refill. But I don't think black ink goes with every pen. It's the most common, ink color around, and everybody likes it. Like, it's the best seller every time. But I like to sort of match it to the body with gel pens and that sort of thing. So I went with a green in this case. It's actually a very nice green. This is a green from an Inkjoy gel. The Papermate Inkjoy gel is a very nice gel pen, I think. It's a little bit on the thick side, perhaps, but I haven't found a green that I liked better. Also, the cartridge, the refill doesn't fit the pen perfectly, and so it does make it a little bit extra stiff. I think I need to trim it down a little bit more or something. I did have to trim the back of it so it would match the length a bit better. I think I still need to do some more of that because it's just still a little bit too stiff. So, and it's not stiff like that with the G2. It's definitely the refill I swapped in. So I'm just going to chop down the back a little bit more and it'll be fine. But this is a really fun pen, good for the growing season. My garden's actually doing stuff again, which is very nice. So check these out over at Tactile Turn. They got good stuff there. Another thing I've really been enjoying is this. This is the Rhodia Memo Box, I guess. Dot grid, number 11, etc. Has 240 sheets. It's 7.5 by 10.5 millimeters. Centimeters. Millimeters, real small. And it's just kind of a really nice little set. I will say I don't think the box is super well made. I mean, it's made of like cardboard or whatever. I do wish it was a bit more sturdy and kind of like, it feels like it's bowing outwards a little bit. Like, it works just fine, but they actually do charge kind of a premium for the box, and you can just buy the memo pad set itself for like $7 or something in a lot of places. And so I kind of think just get the memo pad thing and leave the box alone. Maybe, and see like the papers peeling up in a few places. And I haven't had this all that long, probably less than a month. So I don't really think the box is worth it, but the paper is actually very nice. I like the tear off bit. It handles fountain pen ink just fine here. No, we don't need help, Katie. Sorry, girl. And then the back is like ever so slightly tacky. So it like kind of sticks to your desk a little bit, depending on what your desk material is. So when you're writing on it, it doesn't just like scoot away. I mean, this is a leather thing, so it's going to slide on here just fine. But on other materials and backings, it actually works really well. So while I like the box idea, and it actually is very convenient, just have this box here. And when I write something and I just write some stuff and I close it down and put it over to the side and do whatever, and then come back to my list of like things I need to take pictures of or videos for, or I don't know, a couple of knives I wanted to check out, that kind of thing. So I think this is fun. I think the box is overpriced. I think the paper is great. So I don't know, maybe you have another box like this. Let me know if you've tried these out and if your box is wonky a little bit like mine is. Yeah, there you go. All right, a couple of things that I've gotten recently. This is the Kasama Una Pulo, which is an absolutely beautiful pen. It combines a lot of things that I really like. It has a peak cap, it has an Ultim body, and then it has layers of Cerakote sprayed on there, which is really neat. You don't see Cerakote on too many materials because the the cooking process to harden it is going to be hard on a lot of materials. But Ultim and Peak can totally take it as super plastics. The only thing to be aware of with these is that this is slightly abrasive. I don't know if we can actually find the spot on here. I think it's right there, actually. And I had set this on a like a very soft 3D printed material as a pen rest. And not one I make, but like a 3D printed plastic thing. And actually some of the white material, and I think it's right there-ish, had gotten it sort of embedded in the Cerakote. Cerakote is really tough, and it just kind of had abraded that away. And I thought I had scuffed it, and I was like, oh no. And so I just like very carefully with my fingernail, just kind of like, where'd it go? Right there. Just kind of like very carefully worked the plastic out of it. So mostly, but these pens, and I talked to the folks at Kasama, and they said, yeah, these pens will take on, character as you use them. He said he kept it in like the same pocket with his knife, and some of the bronze from his knife scales had even like worn off onto it. So when you get a product like this, you kind of just gotta be like, yeah, wabi sabi, appreciate the imperfections and the mileage you put on it. But I think it's gorgeous. It feels really nice in the hand. Like it doesn't feel slippery at all because it's great kind of matte Cerakote texture. I love the way that they combine these materials and techniques. I think it's great, but do be aware of what you put it against. I'm going to keep it in a pen sleeve and try to keep it as not messed up as I can, but I'm just going to like embrace those small bits of like, wear and stuff that it's going to get over time. And it will. Like some of this matte stuff will will get buffed down by my hands and usage and pocket and all that. So like appreciate that in your handmade goods. Don't try to keep it pristine. I ain't going to keep it in a safe. It was expensive, but like very nice, and I like it, and so I'm just going to kind of use it, because that's what pens want. And lastly, I wasn't going to get this pen, but I did anyway. This is the TWSBI Eco what is it called? Bronze and Caffe Bronze, I think. I just got this the other day. I've not decided what ink to put in it, but I decided that this brown color with the bronze was just kind of like too pretty not to get. I love a brown ink, so it's probably going to get a brown, or I don't know, a swampy green. Somebody suggested a purple, and I was like, maybe it needs a purple. Somebody said there's like ube coffee, which is like a purple sweet potato thing. That sounds kind of fun. So I don't know. I haven't decided what to go in here. Let me know what ink you think I should put in here. I don't know if I'm going to do it or not, but I'd like to see your ideas, because this is a better looking pen than I thought it was. Once I saw it in person, I'm like, yes, fine, I need one. So if you can still find one of these online, go for it. All right, let's talk about some of the pens that I inked up, or I guess some of the inks I put in pens over the last couple of months. So it'll take a little bit of time here. So we need the next page back. Yeah, here we go. So March, April. So I started off, I was strong until April 11th. How about that? The day before Audrey's birthday, when I inked up a Kara's Decograph with Octopus Fluids Write and Draw Orange Bunny, which is a really interesting ink. It's kind of like, it's orange, but it's also kind of a salmony, sort of slightly peach color. Part of that is the matte shine off of this pigmented ink, and part of it's just that's what the color is. It's really weird, and I kind of like it a lot. Next up, Colorverse Indigo Blue in this Opus 8. Opus only has one S. I got carried away. Indigo Blue. This is a Smrooty Pens exclusive, and I really like this Indigo Blue in there. It's actually right here on my desk. I have been using this a lot, but this pumpkin colored Omar is pretty great, and with this ink I really liked it. Next up is Franklin-Christoph Model 2 in pink. Actually, this is kind of I have it somewhere here close. There we go. It's actually kind of a cotton candy color. I bought this at the Atlanta Pin Show. It's got this like iridescent cap and this nice pink body color and an iridescent section here. And it's pretty great. So I also put in this ink, which is Colorverse Iris Nebula, which is another Smrooty, not exclusive, but I did get this ink from them, from Colorverse. Actually, it's too much light. A little bit like a medium amount of light, maybe. It does have a nice bit of, there you go, you can see the shimmer in there now, and this like kind of purpley gray ink, but has this nice hit of shimmer. I'm liking this Iris Nebula. It's really cool. I'll have to do reviews on those soon, pens and inks both. Next up, my Galen Leather Kaweco Sport, which I have a lot of these sitting on my desk right now. There's this blue, like sapphire blue one, a really nice little Kaweco Sport, and I decided to fill it up with Laban Artemis because I hadn't used that yet. Artemis is an extremely dark blue. It's actually a bit darker than that now that I've been using a little bit. I think maybe it was a little bit dry to begin with, but it's actually been writing just fine, so I think that's pretty nice. Next up, TWSBI Eco Jade. I filled up with Papier Plume's Faceless Lady, which was a Chicago Pin Show exclusive, and they put it on their site. I'm not sure if it's still available or not, but definitely check out Faceless Lady. It's a beautiful shimmer, and it's also got this kind of verdigris color from the bronze statue it's named for. Next up, Parker Duofold. I can't stop inking up Duofolds, it turns out, or at least this one. I really like this pen a lot. And it's got Franklin-Christoph Bronze Age, which is a new Franklin-Christoph ink. Also put it in this Platinum 3776 Oshino, because I wanted to see what it was like in abroad. Looks great in both. You can find that on the Franklin-Christoph site. Next up was Kaweco Piston Filler. That's this one right here, which gave me kind of no end of problems. I inked it up with this Linen Toolbar Want, and I think Want is actually a little bit on the dry side maybe, and it seems to be a little bit, I don't know how to say it, like kind of thick or whatever. Like gives me a little bit of a hard start usually when I start it. I put it in this pen after that. It's in this big Franklin-Christoph Model 50. And I really like the color. I think this blue is great. It's got a very nice sheen to it. But man, it would not work in this pen. Like it was drying out. If I just left it sitting for a couple hours, it wouldn't flow at all. I mean, the nib that came on this was also a little busted. I'll talk about that when I do the full review of this very soon. But the nib wasn't great. I just had like no end of problems. So it was a bad combo, exacerbated by both sides, I think. But now I have a whole different ink in here. I put Iroshizuku Shinryoku in here, and it's actually great. I've had no problems with this Iroshizuku ink, especially since I swapped the nib out with another Kaweco nib. So works nice now. Next up, Lamy Al-Star Fiery. That's one of the two All-Stars for this season. I've also got it in the aquatic with cold-blooded. So these kind of really match the ink colors. I did a review on those as well. You can probably find that on my channel, but those were very pretty inks. This one right here, my new Ironfeather pen that I got in Atlanta, is this one. Look at those gorgeous colors, like a soft matte color palette. This was just all the bits and ends and bobs of different bits of acrylic that he had been pouring that day. There's no particular formula for it. He'll never be able to make it again, unfortunately, but it is gorgeous. And I tell you what, this Azul Frida from Pannonia and Amarillo Stationery is amazing. Look at that blue. I loved it immediately. Super good. Next up, this Kasama Una Pulo with Sailor Mano U. Really beautiful ink. Just posted a review for that just the other day. It doesn't smear after the fact. Don't worry. I just closed the book too quickly or wiped my hand across it or something dumb. Over here, what have I got? This one. This Franklin-Christoph 65 just didn't really, or at least that nib, I didn't really want to write with this ink. I think the nib was a little bit out of joint, so I put in a broad stub nib in there instead and just started writing great. It's just a much darker color. This is Nagasawa Onomatopoeia Puka Puka. Really fun. Next up, this is a pen from Good Made Better that I got at the, or actually Audrey got for me at the Chicago Pen Show because I didn't go to that show, and it is great. I love this pen. It's got a big old double broad nib in there that I got with it, and I put in this ink from Deception or from The Wet Pen. You can find them on YouTube, and it's called Deception Pass. And look at all the interesting color in that ink. It's so good. And then I inked up my Leonardo Momento Zero Apex, which I don't have handy at the moment. That's an Atlas exclusive that I also bought from the Chicago Pen Show in absentia. And I put Rainier Blue in there, which is another wet pen ink. Super good as well. Great combo. Beautiful pen. Let me grab it right quick. There you go. There's the Apex. I remember where I put it, but look at this thing. Look at that thing. If these are still available, I say grab one because they look outstanding. All right, next page. We're almost done here. Then I linked up Lamy Safari from Japan, which I think is called, was it Forest or something like that? Forest Green. This is a Japan exclusive that a friend sent to me. Very kind gift with the kanji nib. And this is Midori Dark Red. And I think Dark Red is fine. I'm kind of like meh about it, but I think I'm only meh about it because of how beautiful this ink is. Like this is top tier, and this one is not quite as good. I think it's just not as impressive to me. So like it's totally fine, but kind of meh. Next up, Opus 88 Demo Twilight Sonata with Call of the Cthulhu, which is right over here. I was also using this today. This is a diamond cast pen that is exclusive to Gold Spot pens. You can go over there and check it out. Also check out the review on the channel, and it's filled up with a Wearingeul ink, which is also Gold Spot exclusive from Wearingeul. It's beautiful tealy green with a nice amount of sheen. Really pretty, flows great in that pen. Next up, we're almost out of this month, actually, and that's the last one. Pelikan M200 Orange Delight. I got this as a surprise in the mail from Pelikan themselves, and this one, also, the nib was way too tight. It was not working real well, and so it was super pale, and I'm like, that's not what this ink is supposed to look like. It doesn't feel great. So I had Audrey open it up just a little bit, and all of a sudden it flows just fine, and it's perfectly good. So this is Linen Toolbar Bombach Siba, which is a weird color. I don't even know what color this ink is. Another kind of I don't know. It's kind of like that orange bunny or whatever. It's got that kind of peachy, corally, kind of orange-ish look to it, but very interesting. All right, that's it for this month. You'll have to don't look at those ones from June. We're not there yet. We'll get those at the end of the month. So there you go. This is the Orange Delight M200 from Pelikan. It's gorgeous. I'll have an unboxing for this very soon if it's not up already. And that's kind of it for today. Oh, I took my very slippery flashlight and I put a little bit of this rough washi tape on it. It keeps trying to come unwrapped, but it does give me a better hold on this thing when I try to pick it up. I don't constantly drop it. Flashlight makers, don't make a slippery flashlight. That's rude and silly. Make a flashlight with some grip on it so you can hold the thing and pick it up reliably. Ugh. All right, so that's it. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see y'all in another video soon, and until then, think about what you put out in the world, make it a better place. Peace out.